Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, we allowed a random Pokemon generator to pick our team for online battles in Scarlet and Violet. It's going to get a little wacky, but I hope you enjoy. All right, let's get started here and see which is our first mon. Finnegan. Okay, so we get Delphox. I like that. Has a great Mega that was recently revealed. Definitely Ghost, Fairy, Terra, maybe. Throw in Flamethrower or Mystical Fire. Definitely going Magician as the ability. Our next mon is Plusle. Okay. Not the worst Pokemon in the world. I think we can make it work. It has to use a Focus Sash, though. But that is 2 ground type weaknesses now, and that's concerning. All right. Our next Pokemon is, throwback. We're going Ghastly. So that's a Gengar, and it doesn't have Levitate anymore. That is 3 ground type weaknesses. I'm just asking, no more ground type weaknesses. Please. Please. I love Gengar. He's a glass cannon, but no more ground type weaknesses, please. Next Mon. Okay, OG starter. We'll go with Squirtle. Turns into the big man Blastoise that we all know and love. Probably run Shell Smash on it, White Herb, or Weakness Policy, and then go bulky. We'll have to see what I decide at the end of the day. Probably Terra Steel, which I know gives me a 4th ground type weakness. Is probably not the smartest thing in the world, but I really like running Terra Steel on Blastoise. Next Mon, Jangmo-O. Interesting. I've never used Jangmo-O, so I'm gonna have to look up sets for this little dude, and that'd be a Como-O. I have to see what all he gets, because my initial thought is, run him physically, but we'll see. Final Mon to add to the team is Honchkrow. Okay, now I like that one. I get access to Sucker Punch. Brave Bird always hits like a truck. And U-turn. I mean, I got some utility there. Honchkrow gives me a free switch in from ground type moves. So honestly, I'm excited for this team. All right, jumping right into the battles now. We have 4 battles here that really show off how good this team is, especially the star of the show, which in this case ended up being Plusle. I had so much fun using this team, and I found myself gravitating towards choosing Plusle and Honchkrow more than I thought I ever would. So for this, the opponent sends out Toxapex. We send out Plusle. We go for the nasty plot because we assume Toxapex is going to try to set up on us, which they do. They get up a layer of Toxic Spikes. I decide to go for a second nasty plot because there's not really much this Toxapex can do to us, at least in my mind. So we go for the second nasty plot, really boost and beef up our special attack to make this thing a sweeper. And of course, the opponent does indeed go for the second layer of Toxic Spikes. And now we're just going to hit it with a Discharge. The opponent wisely chooses to switch out, but unfortunately, they chose the wrong Pokemon to switch into, and then we one-shot Corviknight. This Plusle was so much fun. I wish I would have recorded my live reactions to this, because I was like jumping up and down in my seat and was so hyped for these battles. The opponent sends out Whimsicott, hits us with a Leech Seed, and we just go ahead and respond with an alluring voice. I debated on whether or not I should switch Volt Tackle off of Plusle because it really didn't have much use. I just didn't want any of my members taking like a free hit without going ahead and doing some type of chip damage to them. And we hit Whimsicott with a second alluring voice. It was a crit. I don't think it mattered, but who knows, it might have. And down goes Whimsicott. And now, of course, the Toxapex comes out. And a Discharge should finish this off. And they cancel the battle. Well, that's a Plusle sweep right there. And that wraps up the first battle. This team is so much fun. I was mixing and matching each team member in so many other battles and was having a blast. Into the next battle we go. My opponent sends out Koraidon, shiny Koraidon, and I go for Delphox. I anticipated a switch out, so I just went ahead and went for Dazzling Gleam to get damage on whatever they switched into, but they in fact didn't switch out, which is great for me. 4 times weak, down goes Karido. Next up, they send out Miraidon. Still in our favor. But I think we could handle it with Delphox. I decided to once again hit it with Dazzling Gleam, but I didn't Terra. I probably should have. They go for Electro Drift, and they get a crit, which one-shots me. I think I would have lived 1 without the crit. So Delphox goes down. And then in my mind, the strategy here is I could go into Plusle, but they're not going to use an electric move against Plusle. So if I go into Blastoise, I might be able to bait out an electric move and increase Plusle's special attack. With my switch, I do successfully bait out an electric type attack. And they go for Overheat. Of course, Focus Sash pops because Plusle doesn't live much. They're kind of squishy. But in the right circumstances, they are very strong. And of course, with 1 times boosted special attack, Alluring Voice takes down Miraidon. Plusle is taking down Legends left and right. This thing is honestly so much fun to use because I didn't expect it to be this good. I honestly expected it to be the weak link of the team, and ended up being my favorite thing. Every time I chose my team for the battle, I always wanted to bring it because I was like, can't wait to use it. The Rayquaza goes for Fly. Of course, I can't hit it, and there's nothing I can do. So I unfortunately have to let our little buddy Plusle go down here. I didn't want to. It hurt me inside my heart to let Plusle go down here. Of course, Fly takes it out because we only had 1 HP. And we got Blastoise in the back. So we should be fine. Keyword should. Because I am notoriously wrong when it comes to Pokemon predictions. And after sending out Blastoise, I kind of debated on which move I should choose. Because I knew they were going for Fly, and then I was like, at the end, it doesn't really matter. So just go ahead and do this Shell Smash like I was planning on. Go ahead and boost our stats. Of course, the Wider will pop, restoring our stats that were lowered. And now we're a beefy big man Blastoise, ready to attack the Rayquaza. Unfortunately, that means we're faster, so we're going to miss a second attack on it. But then we should be able to take it out next turn. I went ahead and went for the Terra just to try to take less damage from Fly. Just in case they get a crit or it's not in my favor. Fly hits the Steel Terra Blastoise. It does hardly anything, and we're good to go. We go Ice Beam. It's quite effective. The opponent finally decides to Terra. And of course, I'm thinking, oh no, what are they tearing into? But it ends up being Terra Dragon. Still incredibly in our favor. Ice Beam should one-shot it. Which it does. So we take out the Rayquaza. Blastoise came in clutch in so many battles. Plusle did very well in these battles, but Blastoise was the backbone of this team and the person you could always rely on. For our third battle, we're going up against a very strong team here. This battle had me on the edge of my seat because I was worried. Our opponent leads with Landorus. Of course, we lead with the GOAT Plusle. Intimidate lowers our attack, but that's fine because we're special attack. I decided to go for a nasty plot and then Terra into flying because I just assumed an Earthquake was coming our way. I decided to go for nasty plot and Terra into our flying type so the Earthquake would miss us. And then we preserve our Focus Sash, which was what I was trying to do in a lot of these battles. Because after we get hit, our time on the battlefield is very limited. Because even though Plusle is faster than a lot of Pokemon, the upper echelon of Pokemon are faster than it, even with max speed investment. Our opponent went for Stealth Rocks instead, so I kind of played my hand too soon, which put me in a position that I didn't want to be in, unfortunately. So I decided to just go for the Alluring Voice here, hoping that the Landers didn't have Stone Edge. The opponent decides to switch out, and they go into Ho-Oh. Now, that is good and bad for us. Ho-Oh resists the Alluring Voice, but we still got Discharge, and we're faster. We hit Discharge, but unfortunately, we do not get the Para. Ho-Oh hits us with Sacred Fire on the return. We hang on with the Focus Sash. We're fine. And then the 50% chance at burn gets us. And no, our little buddy goes down once again. Plusle was going to come in so clutch there. But alas, RNG was not on our side for that. It's fine. We still have Blastoise and Gengar in the back. I go ahead and send out Blastoise. Of course, the Stealth Rock does that chip damage to us. I debated on bringing Rapid Spin for Blastoise. With Shell Smash already taking up a slot, I wanted more type diversity on Blastoise. So I couldn't remove entry hazards that way. That's probably the wrong call, but it's just what felt right in the moment. I go for the Shell Smash. Wider pops, of course. So we're back to neutral with our lowered stats. Ho-Oh goes for the Brave Bird, does significant damage, but also takes a lot of recoil to itself. I go for the Surf here, because even if they switch out, I'm going to get some decent damage off because of Blastoise's boosted stats. What I didn't anticipate was what they were switching out to. Thankfully, it was Landorus, lowering our attack, which does not matter because we use Surf, and we one-shot the Landorus. Okay, we're slowly turning the tide of this battle back in our favor. They once again go back into Ho-Oh, which has restored HP because of its ability Regenerator. Great ability. I love that for Ho-Oh. Of course, I click Surf. The opponent tears Ho-Oh into Dark type, so Surf's not going to be super effective anymore. And it's not enough, even with the boosted stats, to take it out. Ho-Oh responds with an Earthquake, which unfortunately does take out Blastoise. Those stones, I think, mattered there. Blastoise lives without the stone damage. Without the Stealth Rock damage, excuse me. So Gengar comes out. Of course, he takes the Stealth Rock damage. Not ideal, but I know we're faster. I go for Sludge Bomb to get the stab damage. The opponent switches out into Urshifu. We do massive damage. I know Urshifu gets Aqua Jet, but I was like, I think we can live one. Because Aqua Jet's not that powerful, even though I know Urshifu is. And they get a crit that's so heartbreaking because we know we're faster than Ho-Oh. If we live that one, we kill Urshifu and we win. But unfortunately, RNG was not on our side. The crit mattered. And we take the L on that one. And for our final battle, we have another great matchup. So hopefully we can pull out the W. Our opponent leads with a Chien-Pao, and we lead with Delphox. This battle also had me at the edge of my seat. This matchup is in our favor. I go ahead and go for the Terra into Fairy, and just going to hit it with Dazzling Gleam, because I assume they're going to predict that I'm going to use a fire move. But my predictions are pretty bad, so you never know. They switch out into Iron Hands, meaning that Dazzling Gleam was the correct call. I bet they're regretting switching into Iron Hands now. And we do significant damage to it. We know we're faster than Iron Hands. I assume a Fake Out's coming, and there's nothing I can do about it. But they do not have Fake Out on it. So we get the Dazzling Gleam off, and we take down the Iron Hands. We currently have the Mon advantage against them, and we know we have type advantage over Chien-Pao. But then they send out the bridge itself, our Chaladon. I decided to go for Flamethrower, because in my mind, it's neutral. I was like, it's a Steel type. Fairy's not going to do that much. Forgetting that it's also a Dragon type. So Dazzling Gleam probably would have did more. It's what happens. It pops our Air Balloon, which is totally fine by me. It was there to try to negate some of the ground weaknesses we had. I once again go for Flamethrower because I was not thinking. It tears into Dragon, which I did not expect. Had I used Dazzling Gleam, this would have been amazing. But I did not successfully predict it. But thankfully, due to our ability at Magician, we stole the Assault Vest, making our Chaladon's defense a little lower. It unfortunately takes down our Delphox, which was putting in so much work for us. I decided to send out Honchkrow, not fearing the Electro Shot, because we already stole its Assault Vest, so it doesn't have a Power Herb, so it will take 2 turns for Electro Shot to go off. At least that's how I hope that move works. Of course, it gets the stat boost from Electro Shot. I decided to go for Night Slash, hoping to do a decent chunk of damage. It doesn't have to do a lot. We don't do nearly as much damage to it as I was hoping. Knowing that the Electro Shot is coming, I can safely switch into Plusle and get our special attack boost so that we can hopefully take down this Archaladon. The Electro Shot hits, we get our special attack boost, and I'm hoping Alluring Voice will do enough. Does take down Archaladon. Now it's just Plusle versus Chien-Pao. We still have Honchkrow in the back in case we need it, but Honchkrow is also super weak to Chien-Pao. There was a weird camera angle there. I don't know what happened, but we just ran with it. The enemy Chien-Pao goes for a Sacred Sword, popping our Focus Sash. We go for Alluring Voice, and it lives on 1 naturally. It wasn't even a Focus Sash because it restored HP with leftovers. We were that close. I don't know if it was a damage roll or what, but we almost one-shot the Chien-Pao. Plusle, you put in so much work. Unfortunately, Chien-Pao goes for Icicle Crash and takes out Plusle. The GOAT Plusle doing so much damage to these legendary Pokemon, to these pseudo-legendary Pokemon, and it's holding its own. It's going toe-to-toe with them. It's a 1v1. I send out Honchkrow. I have Sucker Punch. I debated going for something else, but I didn't think we were going to live any Ice Attack, so I went for Sucker Punch, just hoping and praying that it was enough to take out Chien-Pao, and it, in fact, does, and we take home another W. And that is it for the battles. That was actually a ranked battle, too, by the way. I hope y'all enjoyed. This was so much fun, and I want to do way more of this. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will be doing more of these in the future, whether it be in Scarlet and Violet or Pokemon Champions when it comes out. Also, stay tuned for my streams for Legends ZA over on Twitch or any of the shorts or videos I post for it. So I will see y'all next time. Bye!